We're doing kind of, I don't want to call these round table discussions. Those seem to be more for more deeper topics, right? But this is more of a discovery discussion of the U1 and the people who've had a chance to mess with it. What's up, Neokoi? Speaking of people who have been able to mess with one, good to see ya. And so, if he hangs around, he might type some things in the room as well. So that's exciting. But y'all come on in, get your questions ready. If you want to know anything about this, let's ask these questions. All they can say is no, right? And some of the stuff they'll have to say no about because they can't talk about all of it yet. But that's okay. That's okay. Oh, we got somebody drinking an electrolyte drink, Element. I don't know that one.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's salty water right there.
Salty.
That is salty water.
I would probably like that because I like salty water.
Okay.
It is very good.
Okay.
It is very good.
Rick D, thank you for the likes and thank you for your top 10 countdown. I really appreciate it. That's an old joke for old people. Yeah, do y'all remember Rick D?
What's up, Rick?
Any of y'all remember
yeah.
Rick D? Sunday night countdown.
Yeah, you're showing our age there.
I know. I always show my age, dude. Have you seen me?
Mick and Beverly are just staring like,
Sorry, guys.
I'm not sure who that is.
Sorry, y'all.
Munchich.
I didn't watch TV as a kid, okay?
Well, it wouldn't have been on TV. It was on the radio. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, we're right at the top. I need a show of hands. Like, let me know if the audio is good or let me know if the audio is bad. I want to make sure that we have really, really good audio tonight. And I'm actually going to hit the record button right now so that we have this for posterity. How are we looking? We got a 1 up thumbs. So keep letting me know. Keep letting me know. All right, awesome. Thank you. That's 2. I'll go with the 2. All right, guys. So first off, let's just let everybody introduce themselves and kind of tell us a little bit about themselves, just kind of that little elevator pitch so we know the people and their expertise as we step through this. So we're going to start over here with Mr. Sandhill.
Oh, hey, on the spot. I'm Lommax with Sandhills 3D, and I've been a maker for over 40 years now. I started when I was really young, doing projects with my grandma, mainly, but my whole family has just always been creative, so that's where I come in.
Okay.
Once I found 3D printing, it was off to the races because it's just such a versatile tool. It's really amazing what you can do with it.
How many printers do you own right now?
At least 8.
Okay.
At least 8. There's currently 3 in running condition right this second.
He's a true 3D printer, people.
And so this right here is, you can't see it, but I got a big Folger Tech FT6. I just bought that recently used, and we're repurposing that with the help of Digital Dragon through Ecovate 3D. And then I've got 2 P1Ss over here, but someone is currently going to be here in 27 minutes to pick that one up.
Ooh, 27.
We've got a Voron 350 over here that the only problem with it is I'm having problems with my configuration in Orca Slicer. And then I've got my new go-to is my Elegoo Century Carbon.
Yeah. I tell you, we need to do a show on that machine. That's been interesting.
That's why I'm selling my P1S is to buy another one of these. Well, yeah. I got to pay for my U1 that I put on order first the other day. So
right.
That's why the P1S is going out the door.
Now, I don't think the Centauris are going to survive more than 2 years, but for what they are, they're really good printers.
Yeah, I mean, it's making great prints back to back.
Yeah.
It's doing really good. And I don't understand how it knows when the filament's going to run out. I'm not using any RFID filament or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it knows. It warns you. It's like, hey, your consumables are getting ready to run out. And I'm like, how does it know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
It's kind of wild.
All right. Well, let's get over to Bev really quick. Bev, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey. So I'm Beverly. I own Ecovate 3D, so I got into 3D printing in like 18, 19, somewhere thereabouts. It's all kind of a blur. I got more into 3D printing in the pandemic because I needed a job because I'm a TV producer by trade and was very unemployed for a minute. So I did that and somehow got to, hey, why can't I buy 3D printing supplies in person? And no one would open that business. I tried to invest in other people opening that business and no one would do it. So I opened the business and invested in myself. And here we are in one of the oldest independent 3D printing, like brick and mortar hobby stores in the country. And now I do a lot of PR, beta testing, public speaking for various 3D printing companies and such.
And
so,
it's not just it's just not just a store, it's a maker space, correct?
It's not really a makerspace because I don't want to pay the insurance for having a makerspace, but it's an education center. It's a community.
There we go. It's a community center, people.
Also, I don't want random strangers touching my robots.
I gotcha.
So,
I gotcha. Well,
we will print it for you. We will help you. We will teach you. We do repairs classes, so it's more hobby store than makerspace because makerspaces involve people touching my robots and.
Yeah.
I'd rather not.
Yeah. C and J, we're going to talk about a comparison between the U1 and the H2C, what we kind of know right now. So that's definitely going to be a topic that we come up with. But y'all, the first time I met Bev was at 3D Printopia. She probably doesn't even remember me from that event. It was like 3 years ago, maybe it may have been 4 years ago now.
I have the memory of a goldfish.
And I saw her walking around the show, but after the show ended, she was walking around negotiating with all of the filament companies saying, I'll buy it for this price. Don't even have to put it on the pallet. Load it in my car. And so she's always been a mover and a shaker. So you're kind of seeing the results of all of that. It's pretty impressive. All right, let's get over to Vic. Vic.
Yeah, my name's Vic. I'm with 3D Prints by Vic. Been a content creator for, going on 10 years now, but I've really been in the 3D printing space for the past several years. I specialize in HueForge and specifically teaching others how to use HueForge because that thing is hard to get a hold of. And so that's where I've been for the past year or so. And I've been loving it. Glad I got to play around with the U1. It's a fun machine.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, get your questions in the room. Let us know what questions you have. Now, y'all all know, and so this is kind of my perspective and where I'm coming at this. And one of the reasons the U1 interests me so much and kind of where my questions are going to start from. But then y'all are going to help me kind of guide as we step through this. I'm a big XL fan. I've been able to play with the XL a lot. Y'all know I work with Courtney, and Courtney has one there. Every time I go, I'm always playing with it. I love that machine. But we all know the cost is a little bit on the crazy side. It's not targeted at a hobbyist, right? It's definitely not targeted at a hobbyist. Now, we know they have big plans for that printer down the road, but right now, we've got to compare, right? Because they are very, very similar machines. So, I think everybody in this room has messed with an XL. Am I correct? Yeah.
I have not.
Okay, you have not. Okay. You know,
No, we can fix that.
And so what is Neokoi's going, what's HueForge? Yeah, Anyway. So let's look at this. We've got a 5-tool head XL compared to what we're looking at, a 4-tool U1. I'm going to go to Bev first, and let's just kind of talk to Bev kind of how the two machines compare, and then we'll really start digging into the U1. Whoop, wrong one.
Oh.
Talk to me, Bev.
Okay. What's the question?
So let's look at the XL. I know you've messed with the XL a little bit, and you've been able to do some things with it, and you've had 2 weeks, 3 weeks with this printer now?
I've had it for about a month, but I
Okay.
keep loaning it out to various people.
So-
They're on the screen here. So
Give me,
yeah, and
let's do a little comparison between the two. I know the XL's a little bigger. You can get 5 tool heads for it. Kind of talk us through the differences, and then let's dig into the U1 and just what we do know about it.
So I don't own a U1, but I want one, and I still want one for the record.
Yeah, the XL.
The
Yeah.
difference I'm finding. So that's why I don't have as much hands-on. I've never had to repair a XL.
Right.
So we're gonna start with that part. So I have nothing to say there besides I have, like it's gonna be a finicky. Like any multi-tool head printer is going to be a little finicky. Like
Okay.
that's the name of the game. It's got a lot of parts and a lot of things that can go wrong. I've seen things go wrong on this printer, mostly my fault. But the build space isn't as big. But for me personally, this printer fits my needs more than the Prusa XL, primarily because most of the things I print could actually fit on an A1 Mini.
Okay.
So the 5 tool heads, I do feel like a 5th color would help. It would, like, who doesn't want more colors, right?
Right.
I love rainbows, obviously. So
Well,
that
isn't it interesting how now that we've really kind of moved into the color space, with the bamboo, started out with 4 colors, everybody has the ability to expand, but for some reason, every model needs 5 colors, right? And so you always find yourself having that 4th, and it does feel a little bit weird. Talk to me about what you've been printing on this. What kind of, what's it been looking like? What's the print quality?
So far, here's my thing on multicolor. I love multicolor, but I print a lot of single color, mostly because I also have every model of bamboo back there. I'm a bamboo retailer. I do a lot of work with bamboo as well as SnapMaker. So I have every bamboo H2 duty, every bamboo that's out. I can talk about,
Yeah.
So I actually don't do a whole lot of multicolor. What I'm most interested about with the multi-tool head is multi-material.
Okay.
Like, that is a big, that's what makes this a game changer for me personally, because we don't do a lot of print farming, but when we do, it's usually high precision engineering, prototyping for another company. It's for, one of our museum clients, one of our big EDU engineering clients.
Okay.
And that's when interfacing with multiple materials is super handy. Like, if I'm printing, ABS, ASA, PETG, I want to use PLA as a support, because let's be real, support for PLA is garbage.
Okay.
I've had enough samples of that come with my various bamboo printers that I just give me the spool.
Right.
Use PETG. But the problem with using an AMS is your prime tower might fall apart, and then you also just might get contamination in your nozzle from it just changing, and that heat creep in the temperature can be a mess.
Right. What
HUD kind of fixes that.
What materials have you printed on this machine so far?
So I've done TPU, PLA, PETG, Filaflex foamy, Filaflex conductive.
Okay.
On it so far.
Okay, and are you finding that they all print pretty well? Do they have the profiles and everything for those, or are you finding yourself having to dial it in?
I've had to make all the profiles so far.
Okay.
TPU, well, for the foamy and the conductive, because those are weird. I love exotic filament, I love the weirdest stuff you can possibly find on the market.
Okay.
I am trying to figure out if I can get my metal infused filament to work on it, because it's got that big U-shaped bend going on, and metal filament is extremely brittle, because when I say metal filament, I'm not talking about the 4 to 10% protopasta, but I'm talking 88 to 90% virtual foundry filament, and
the stainless steel stuff, all the stuff you have to anneal. Okay. Awesome. Well, let's get over to Vic real quick. Vic, kind of start with a comparison idea of what your thoughts between the XL and the U1, and kind of move into the U1 and your experience with it so far. Cannot hear you.
Nope.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. We could hear him earlier.
I know, right? Let's jump.
There we go.
There we go. There we go.
Not sure why that happened. So I've played around with the XL, but never pulled the trigger on one, primarily because it's so expensive. I'm, started as a hobbyist 3D printer, and realized that hobby was going to become way too expensive for me unless I utilized my hobby to make money. And so I started a business, and as that business has grown, the XL has become more and more something that I've considered, but it's just still been too expensive. And so when I saw the U1, it immediately became interesting to me, because it's that sub $1,000, or right there at $1,000 after its launch on Kickstarter.
Right.
And that's something that's much more approachable for your hobbyist 3D printer, and that's why it caught my eye off the bat. And so I approached my 3D printing as I just want it to work. That's the most important thing. I teach people how to use 3D printers, especially when we're looking at like moms and kids and dads teaching their sons. Like I want that their experience to be as simple and easy as possible. And that was the thing that I was going into the U1 kind of considering. I was like, can someone just pick this up and use it?
Okay.
And I think they can. From my limited experience with the U1, it was very simple to get started with, to slice a file, to send it to the printer, and to print. And so I love Prusa. I've owned a couple Prusas before, but when we're talking about that first step into the 3D printing door, Prusa is not always the first one that I recommend. And I think the U1 will help change the game for some more exotic 3D printers at a beginner kind of state.
So do you consider the U1 more on the side of an appliance printer?
I personally would utilize it as an appliance printer for my use case. I definitely think, if I don't print a lot of multi-material like Bev was talking about. I do a lot of multicolor because I sell at markets, and I create my models, and then I go and I sell the physical prints. And so I wouldn't be utilizing a ton of engineering filaments or a ton of multi-material prints. And I think it hits my use case almost perfectly. I did this little Cinderwing dragon, our little turtle guy, on my K2 Plus, and it took 12 and a half hours to print. I did it on the U1, and it took just under 5 hours to print. Yeah. And when you're looking at, just people in the space, that's a significant time difference when you're printing 15 things on a build plate.
So what was your experience on the speed and the changing of the heads and everything? Where did you notice the differences on that?
It was super simple. I will say, and maybe Beverly can speak more to this, it took a minute for it to get ready to print. It was about a 15 to 20 minute calibration experience there on the front, where it leveled the bed, it had to heat up, it had to get all the nozzles ready to go, it had to calibrate the flow. I mean, it took a minute. But that 20 minutes was totally worth it when we cut 7 hours off my print time for certain models. And so the actual experience with it was incredible, and the actual switching between nozzles was as fast as you could want it. I mean, it doesn't have to purge or anything. It just slots the nozzle back into its base, it swaps, it purges a little bit just so that it can calibrate the flow to make sure that the nozzle's hot enough. You're not having to purge different types of filaments or different colors, and then it hops right back into your model. It was very seamless. Sub 1 minute nozzle switches.
Awesome. Let's get over to Sand Hill, and man, talk to me about I know you said you didn't have a lot of experience with the XL, so let's just start with the U1 on you. And I know you've done a couple of videos and shown some flashlights and stuff that you printed.
Yeah, so I wanted to utilize the multi-material aspects of the printer, because we've not ever, with my bamboos, I can't run TPU unless I run special TPU. And Beverly had the conductive filament, and I said, well, I really want to print a print in place flashlight. So I did, I did the design about 20 minutes before I got access to the machine. So it was not polished, especially the first time. The second time, all the tolerances were a lot better, but it did not work. My connections did not work. But I am looking forward to what I can do with this machine. Because we've not been able to do this kind of stuff in the past. And when you're, even if you're doing like, when I do a lot of automotive stuff, and if I want to use like PETG for supports on PLA or vice versa, a lot of times I find when it purges in between, it doesn't purge all the way, and then I get bad layer lines and the parts break in half, and that's not acceptable for what I do. With the U1, I'm hoping that I will be able to put my materials and everything will print a lot better. Be able to get a lot of better, surfaces on my overhangs and stuff where I'm using supports and stuff like that. That's the most interesting part of it to me. Although all the stuff I've seen about Hue forges, I gotta get into Hue forges sometimes.
I know, right? Definitely. So now, and I know you've been answering some questions in the chat and everything. So one of them was hardened nozzles. As far as the nozzles that are coming with it, what are we seeing right now?
So the nozzles that are coming with it are pretty much just like a bamboo nozzle.
Right.
I got a picture, but I can't show it to you here. They're so close to looking like a bamboo nozzle, it's not even funny.
Okay.
I didn't order the hardened nozzles that SnapMaker had because I kind of got a feel that the aftermarket is probably going to be a little bit ahead of the game on that.
Yeah.
Because once they find the regular nozzle, it won't be hard for them to go ahead and reverse engineer it and offer hardened nozzles.
Yeah, that'll be pretty quick.
Generally, yeah. And I think for my limited use of the machine, I think SnapMaker's got a good product. If they can polish it, they have to blow it out of the park with this one.
Right.
SnapMaker does not have the best track record of following through to make sure that the users got the experience that they were advertised.
Gotcha.
Usually I'm the kind of person that I would not back a Kickstarter, but because I use the machine and I've seen how polished they have it already, I felt that it was a good investment. This machine is... So many people are going to have this machine.
Yeah, okay.
So many people have been telling me, I've been waiting to get into 3D printing, and I've seen this machine now, and now I'm going to buy it because this is what I have been waiting on. I've been waiting on a machine that's, this easy to use.
Okay.
Now, the reliability of it, we're just going to have to wait and see. Nobody really knows that yet.
Yeah. Usually takes about a year to really figure out what longevity is going to be, right?
It does. And I got to feel that SnapMaker knows that if they do not get this one right, then nobody's going to trust them in the future.
Yeah.
Especially the new users.
Yeah.
But I do feel that it's a game changer just as much as the bamboo was when it came out.
Okay. Awesome. Hey guys, everybody who's coming in, we are talking about the SnapMaker U1. We're talking to some people who have some experiences. Hey, Neokoi, if you're still around and you want to come in, message me, Discord me, and I'll get you a link. We'll get you in if you want to come in and join this discussion. But we're going to get your questions answered. Stay patient as we go because I want them to be able to talk, but I also want to answer your questions. So I will pull those questions in as things happen. Now, I'm seeing some things. We talked about the hardened nozzles, which to me brings up like temperature. What temperatures are we looking at as far as the bed and as far as the nozzles? Bev, do you know those answers?
Yeah, but I can't say them.
You can't say them.
I know some of them, but I can't.
Okay,
I can't say them.
Okay.
I can say there are some major partners that you would expect that will be doing accessories officially with SnapMaker that are in conversations.
Okay.
But I cannot say anything else.
Okay.
I can say because it's right here on their website.
Okay, all right. So
according to the SnapMaker website, the maximum nozzle temperature is 300 C.
Okay.
Or I can say that one.
So 300 C.
The max bed plate is 100 C.
Okay. Okay.
And it says that the hot end will flow 32 millimeters cubed a second.
Okay.
I have a hard time believing that just because, it's very similar to the bamboo, and the bamboo flows, 12?
Yeah, but I feel like that definitely means we've got other nozzles, especially high flow nozzles coming in the future if they're saying that can happen, right?
Probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Yeah. So maybe even potentially faster speeds as the stuff goes.
Look, this thing is dead fast already. I mean, just the printing aspect of the motion system is very quick. It's just as quick as my Voron.
Okay.
It moves. It moves out. and it seems to be very, very accurate. I mean,
Okay.
with the tool changes and everything. I mean, like I said, I printed a part that had 2 different colors of PLA in it, and then it had the conductive TPU.
Right.
And I mean, everything moved. You know what I'm saying? Or the parts that were supposed to move moved, and I just designed it like I would for any other machine.
Okay. Okay. All right, give me 1 second. Bev, I know there's a lot of things you can't tell us, but let's kind of go over some of the specs and things that you can tell us, and I'm going to work on getting another guest in the room. So stay patient with me as I work on
Yeah,
that.
but on the website, I can tell you some of the insider info about what's to come on the roadmap. My lips are sealed. I am trying to hire you.
No, that's important. That's important. And, you know, maybe that's something, and as we have these discussions, we could take a little bit of a break here. You could talk about, like, you know, how does one get into deals like this? Like, how did you have the SnapMaker connections to get this machine to be able to beta test it?
Well, there's a whole lot going on. So I've been in the industry for a while. You know, like I've been working professionally in 3D printing since 2020. And a lot of it is just going to the conferences, getting to know people, connecting with people, which is why I just love working with SnapMaker. They've been like, out of like all the companies I work at, I think the company that listens to me the most when they pay me to give them advice is SnapMaker. Right. Yeah, and they don't pay me to beta test, by the way. Like, they actually don't pay me to beta test. They don't pay me to market their machine. I'm not in the marketing budget. I used to get paid to throw their parties.
Okay.
And to go speak. So they had me out in, Printed World Conference. They paid my speaker fee and my trip. So they just have me there in person. And I did like their hotel booking, planned their parties and stuff. So that was super, super fun.
Awesome.
And and I got that just from networking with them. I had been talking to Blaine, like their head of marketing, on the internet for a while, and we met up in Detroit at Rapid PCT, and he was like, yeah, I've been meaning to like hire you for some stuff. What are you doing next month? And I was like,
I gotcha.
Next day I know I was on a plane to Amsterdam. So I was like, and it just worked out really well. I really loved working with their team. It was awesome, and I work with, a couple other companies doing some stuff too. So it all just kind of like having this brick and mortar and having a place to bring together the community has really worked out, which is why, as like the technical base in the US, my team is doing a lot of support work with SnapMaker right now for that. That's why, Blaine said, oh yeah, if you've got some smaller creators that you want to invite, that might not normally be on the radar for a beta test. If you like them and they're gonna, follow the NDAs and you trust them and when you buy, they can come use the machine.
Right.
Here we are. And, and I love it because I just love supporting creators. Like, I don't consider myself a content creator.
Okay.
It's not my goal to create content as a job. I create content because I own a 3D printing store.
Yeah.
And I have fun with it, but I'm not super serious about it, which is why I was like, if you can follow me and you'll see some of the crazy stuff I'm doing, but it's very much the vibe of like, okay, I'm gonna try something like absolutely insane.
I gotcha.
See if it works.
I gotcha.
And it works like 30% of the time, but I try and I have fun doing it. And I think just getting involved with the industry is the best way to do it. That's how I became the first independent reseller for Bamboo lab printers a year ago. So a little over a year ago now. Okay. So that was really interesting. And that's because I went to California and talked to them in person and spent 3 days being like, look, I know you're not in any small businesses.
Right.
Give me a chance.
So yeah, like I was saying, sorry, go ahead. Finish that up.
No.
Okay, sorry. Like I said, she is a mover and a shaker, guys. Well, look, we got one more person in the room. Let's check his audio and see how he's doing. What's up, Mr. Dan Danier? Yep, we got you.
What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing?
Hey, introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about you.
What's up, guys? My name is Daniel. I draw cards and turn them into 3D prints using QForge and also do QForge tutorials for all of you. So that's what I do. I do HueForge tutorials, and I do fun short form content here on TikTok and every other social media outlet there is. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, so now
having
you
me.
kind of sit in a very unique position right now because, like, you have been working heavy with multi-tool heads lately. Been doing a lot of really interesting things. You built your Voron. You've really been, now, last video I saw you were about to tear it apart and do some new stuff to it. But let's kind of talk to us about the machine you have versus the U1 and kind of how you understand the U1 and the information that you can give us.
So, man, that's a lot.
I know, right?
The Voron, I built the Stealth Changer. That's a 6 tool head Voron from the ground up. And the reason that I did that was because I wanted to do TPU HueForges. Now, like Vic knows, you don't have to have an AMS to do HueForges. You can do it all manually. It's all swap by layer. So, you can do it on any machine, but when you're doing swap by layer without an AMS, like you would have to do for TPU, you have to babysit your printer. And babysitting a printer is not fun. You have to sit around and wait for it to get to the swaps, get to the pauses so that you can swap different filaments, etc. And so that's just a huge time sink that I didn't want to deal with. And I wanted to build a Voron. So it was kind of like, a perfect storm of, I do have a need for it and I have a want for it. So let's go ahead and do it. And so I built that, tuned TPU for ever, it feels like, and then finally got it printing multicolored TPU. This is the first really successful multicolored TPU print that I got off of it. And then SnapMaker's U1 got announced, and I felt like an idiot for building a $3,000 Voron. So I got to participate in the beta along with these people here, and I'm still participating and trying to make the user experience as good as we can for everybody else that has participated in the Kickstarter. And let's just say that the first time that I printed with it, I really thought heavily about my decision in building a Voron and how much it cost me in time and money.
Okay.
Because the machine is very good for $800, let alone $1,000. It's very, very good.
So I was asking Vic earlier, do you put this on the side of appliance type printer? Where do you feel it falls in Creality beginning V3 all the way to Bamboo plug and whatever?
So for people like us, everybody that's here and people that are watching, most likely, it's a turnkey printer. For new people, it's going to be different. And the only reason I say it's going to be different is because tool changers are inherently more complicated in general. And so explaining multi-material, multi-tool printers to a new beginner, that's somebody that just doesn't even understand how a bed is leveled, is already going to be a challenge in and of itself. So I think that it's for the prosumer and for somebody that has been in 3D printing long enough that they grasp what's going on, and they'll understand that they need it. But I don't think that it's going to be necessarily like the Bamboo in the way that you can just go buy one, or like a K1 Max or a K2.
Right, I got you. Does anybody else want to speak to that? Anybody else want to add to that?
I will say, I think a lot of us are back in the printer and are getting it, but that's what I'm saying earlier before. I think a lot of Cricut moms have bought this thing now, and I'm a little worried that SnapMaker's not going to be ready for the influx of problems that these people are going to have, because they're not going to know that PTG and PLA don't stick together.
Right.
And and they're going to be mad because it took a whole 2 hours to print this multicolor print, and I don't understand, and they're because that's what happened when we got Bamboos. When we got Bamboos, everybody that had a Creality got a Bamboo and said, "Oh my God, this thing is amazing." and all the people that just got into it had the same problems that we had with our Crealities, maybe not to the same degree, and maybe they didn't have to know as much, but they still had to reach out to the community.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be a lot. We're going to have to be here for a lot of people to help them get through their learning curve.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
I agree.
let's get down to some basics then. Let's do some things like if we're thinking as somebody who's used multicolor for a while, and we're trying to get our knowledge from the AMS style, CMS style printer that we normally use to this multi-tool head. Let's kind of talk about those, some advantages, disadvantages. Will it feed continuous filament and kind of continue to refill rolls just like an AMS will? Can you do those types of things? What's the tricks to combining multi-material, which you can or can't do? Let's just kind of go through a lot of that and unpack that. Vic, do you want to speak to that first?
Yeah. When, in my testing with it, I haven't had the opportunity to kind of play around with, will it refill, the spool that has run out with a new spool. I haven't gotten to kind of tinker around with all that. Maybe Danny or Bev could probably speak to that. But I would love to see some of that integrated into the software. I will say one of the questions that I did have as I was kind of playing around with it was, what does it look like to be able to print with different sized nozzles and identify different parts of a model to, let's say I want more detailed parts of the model to be printed in a 0.2 nozzle. Let's say I wanted less detailed parts of a model to be printed in a 0.4 or 0.6 nozzle. How easy is that going to be? Those are all questions that I still have. I haven't gotten to play around with any of those things yet. I don't know what's on the horizon in terms of those things, but I think there's a lot of the door's wide open for them to be able to integrate those types of things, hopefully pretty easily, whether it's through, their Orca Slicer, it runs Clipper, all these things are very, very easy to kind of work with. So yeah, I'm asking a lot of the same questions and we'll be excited because I think the door's open for a lot of those things to happen. Yeah,
I get that. Hey, I want to address something in the room and then I'll jump to somebody else. So Rick D saying, hate to put it this way, but this is what content creators have become for companies, right? We're all looking to be people who represent companies or at least get the first printers and stuff, right? I mean, I think everybody in this room doesn't mind testing printers for companies, correct?
Absolutely.
And so, but I would look at it like this. I wouldn't say anybody in this room is a shill for any of those companies, right? Except for Bev. Bev's a shill for Ecovate.
I am on the payroll of all the companies.
Right.
Not equally.
But
I am on the payroll of most of the companies.
But everybody in this room is going to tell you their honest opinion on these machines. Sometimes they're by NDA and stuff. There's some things they can't say at this time. But that's part of the privilege of being able to do this, right? And so remember, just because these guys have a printer in their hand does not mean that's their favorite company or that they're just going to tell you whatever that company wants. These guys I would trust. Anybody in this room I would trust wholeheartedly if they told me they loved a machine or they didn't love a machine, right? And we've seen other people who don't. But just remember that as you do step into that, we talked about, Bev talked about earlier, kind of moving into that, getting machines and everything. Your reputation is your reputation, and you decide where it goes. And these guys have worked really, really hard to keep their reputations. I just wanted to address that, guys. I didn't take that negatively, Rick D. I just wanted to make sure anybody else in the room thinking about that understood where these people are coming from. Would anybody disagree or agree with that? And
I agree.
Okay.
I think it's impossible to be 100% unbiased for anybody. Okay. For any content creator, there's going to be some amount of bias in general. Like, it's quite literally impossible to be 100% unbiased. But as long as that person is objective and knows, that you can, as long as you can trust that person, I think it's a good thing. I think Rick D, what I was reading from his comment was more or less talking about that we're tech support now.
Yes. Yes.
In our
That's
communities.
what I'm on payroll for. No, the company that
an entire business for that. Yeah.
that is paid labor.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's true as well to a degree. Their support, I think support is getting better from these Chinese companies, but I don't think that it's necessarily 100% in general.
Yeah.
And that's just something that they're going to continue to work on,
Yeah.
I think.
And
any of them.
I mean, tech support from the beginning has kind of been that way. I mean, if you go back to the Creality V3, the earlier versions of the Creality that everybody started on, Creality was not the tech support. I mean, I would say that Sandhill probably knows better than anybody about those early Crealities.
Oh, God. So I got into this in 2020, right before COVID hit. And the next thing you know, I was running 15 Crealities in my spare bedroom making masks, okay?
Right.
So, yeah, I've put together, like, a bunch of Ender 3s, I could do it in my sleep. And I knew they weren't for everybody. And, man, I wouldn't wish that on nobody.
Okay.
The Ender 3. I mean, once I got my bamboos, they had just changed. I mean, it made everything so much nicer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's no reaching out to no tech support on Creality. I hope SnapMaker will be better. I've not ever had a SnapMaker machine at all.
Yeah.
And as far as the bias goes, I would have been a lot better off if the printer had not have been good, because my video would have got a lot more views. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if I had talked bad about the printer, it probably would have got more views. But there was not really anything bad. I mean, especially being it was a beta unit. I mean, I threw my money on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I put the $30 on it to get the $100 discount. And I'm probably not even gonna get that because I used 2 different emails, and I don't know how that's gonna work out. Hopefully, SnapMaker will pull through for me.
No, I got
That's how you know Lommax isn't a paid actor. He didn't even get the printer for free. He paid for it. He went and paid for one after.
I drove. Look, I've got hours and gobs of gas driving up back and forth between here and there just to do these 2 prints.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it was bad, I would tell y'all.
Yeah.
Are they going to have some quality control issues trying to get as many printers out as they're trying to get out? I don't know. I don't know nothing about the company.
Yeah.
From looking at their videos that they have been posting of their testing procedures and stuff, it seems like they've got their crap together.
Okay.
That's just my personal opinion, just from looking at, of course, they polish them videos up, make them slick, so you only see just a couple seconds.
Yeah.
But they've had to test this tool changer system hundreds of thousands of times to make sure that it's going to do what it does. And with my 2 little prints here, I mean, we had a color change every single layer pretty much, and a material change, and I didn't have any problems.
Yeah.
Now, two prints. Who knows when you got 1,000 hours on the machine? That's how it goes.
Yeah.
No, my person is here to pick up this P1S, so I will get off here.
If
you'll mute me, I'll come back on when I get done.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
I might have the record for the person who's broken her
Hey,
beta unit.
sorry, y'all. How you doing?
I've never had to mute anybody before. Give me a second.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Danny's in
mute
the
yourself
group
if you can.
chat.
All right, let's get over to Bev.
Danny's in the group chat for the internal for the beta users. I think I'm either tied for or have the record for I've broken this printer because I did crazy things to it.
Awesome. Well, look, let's
I have
walk.
a lot of glitter through this printer. I love glitter, okay?
Oh.
It's got its beta unit issues, okay? It's a beta unit. And everyone's that's the thing. One of the reasons I respect SnapMaker so much is how open they're letting me be with their beta, videos. It's not very if you look on SnapMaker's Instagram, they are letting me post and putting it on their Instagram, my print failures with this machine.
They've shared your print failures too
they've
on
shared
their
them.
Instagram.
Yeah.
They share my print failures with the addendum of me going on the print failure. By the way, guys, this is probably my fault.
So let's do this real quick. let's do this real quick. Let's go through the specs that we're allowed to talk about, right? So let's start from top to bottom on the printer. Talk about, as far as the beta unit, what you can, what nozzles came with it, the bed size, the chamber, all of that type of stuff. Bev, tell us what you can, and then I'll jump over to Danny, and we'll let him fill in any stuff that you don't say. So tell me what you can about the printer.
Okay. I'm really bad at remembering numbers.
Okay.
Off the top of my head. But it is 270 by 270.
Okay.
So I can't tell you that. The filament swapper officially is 5 seconds. I actually think it's faster, depending on just how far your little purge tower is from the print. I have a bucket here. So this is from the 20th to present day, so 6 days worth of daily printing. This is all the poop we've had.
Okay.
Of purge tower and mostly calibration poop.
Okay.
So, yep. So that's pretty cool. My known issue is I have broken my motor on slot 4 and slot 1 like 3 times each. I had to take apart my slot 4 hot end today because I used a lot of glitter, guys, okay? And I also beta test a lot of filament, and there's a lot of mystery filament like lying around.
Okay. Okay.
Like, the job of a beta tester is to like put this thing through its paces. So
yeah.
It's pretty fast, I'd say. People keep asking about the noise level on there. It's about the same noise level as my bamboos.
Okay.
So I'm gonna call it average.
Okay.
What else do you want to?
Well, Danny, you got any other information for us?
I haven't used as much glitter as she has, that's for sure. I haven't used any glitter on this machine. I've been using TPU. I don't know if anybody saw my most recent.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. Video.
Yeah, I love it.
Incredible.
And then I did some TPU testing last night with this, and this is actual multicolored TPU.
That's great.
The top surfaces are quite literally the best top surface I've ever had with TPU.
Oh wow!
On any machine, it's like people that I showed it to thought that I was showing the bottom. They were like, flip it over and show us the top. I said, no, this is the top. Like, this is the. It's that smooth. Like, I can't stress enough how well it prints TPU, and so that was another reason why I said, wow, why am I spending $3,000 on a Voron? Anyways, so the tool offsets, huge deal. 25 out of 10. Like, I don't know how to get that across until you've tried to manually do tool offsets on any of your printers. But the fact that it does it automatically for the most part, and it's mostly hands-off, love it. 12 out of 10, 28 out of 10. It's just, it's so good.
Okay.
I can't stress that enough. Yeah, I've spent countless hours on my Voron doing tool offsets, and this one is just like, you hit a button, you clean your nozzles, and then it knocks up against the cup and it does it for you. So like, super great. Noise level, it's on the louder side. I have a decibel reader that I just got in the mail, so I plan on doing a few tests for that, short form tests.
Okay.
If you personally, I want an enclosure for mine, like the top hat. Okay. But yeah, it's pretty good. Now Vic had mentioned printing with different nozzles, different size nozzles, and currently right now in Orca, you're able to set line widths either statically, like 0.42 millimeters, or you can set them as percentages. So if you can tell it that it has a 0.4 nozzle in tool 1 and a 0.6 nozzle in tool 2, and then if you just set it to 110%, then it's going to increase that line width for both of them, just differently, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can't right now control those individually. So
right.
Okay. So are you working primarily in Orca right now, or I don't want to get into any stuff you can't tell us. I know sometimes you have to be careful with
We're only
software
working
wise.
in Orca right
Okay,
now.
all right.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's SnapMaker Orca and Orca, and I can say that they're working really hard to fix the issues that we've been reporting. I think that we're up to like 200 that we've
Oh, wow.
reported, 200
Okay.
bugs or issues, and that's primarily been software side. That's not hardware side. Like the hardware is solid. Like you
Okay.
have to have a good base to
Yeah.
go off of, right? So that's why software comes second, and they're working on it. And a
Okay.
lot of us are giving them good feedback, and they're very
6
active.
of
And
those fun bugs is my glitter, so
yeah, don't use glitter. I
Don't use
guess.
glitter.
I'll remember that from my own experience.
That's
Okay.
awesome. Well, hey, I'm going to take a break 1 second, guys. Everybody, thank y'all for coming in. We are talking about the SnapMaker U1 tonight. If you have your questions, get them in the room. I have seen your questions, guys. They are coming. I promise. We've been slowly answering them as we go. So if you are interested in seeing this, if you have come in the room late, then hey, we're on YT. You know, it'll be over on TW. Those would be probably 2 places, and then Rumble. I'll say RM or something like that, right? We can't say these in some places, but y'all get the idea. That's where you can find this. I'm going to leave this open. I'm not going to edit this. I may cut the front intro off, but you can go back and watch this later. If you're looking for more information or want to find out more about the Asylum Life community and the lives that we do, guys, join the Discord. We do have a Discord where you can jump in and be a part. It's a maker community, guys. We're not just 3D printers over there. We're laser engravers, knitters, woodworkers, all sorts of people over there trying out new different things and joining together in projects. We're actually working on a Mesh-tastic project, hoping to do something at 3D Printopia. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, come on in and be a part of that community. But we've got these expert guys right here that are talking to us about the U1. And I'm going to go back to Danny. One of the questions is kind of on the open source side. So when you're looking at it, and I know you have to be careful, are we seeing volcano nozzles? Are we seeing, have you messed with any of that stuff? Is it looking or feeling open source?
I haven't gone down that route at all.
Okay.
Actually, with this printer, I mean, and I say that because I have the boron, so like I don't really need to mess with it quite yet. I'm waiting until they go ahead and release what they're going to as far as Clipper's concerned. They said that, you know, they're going to follow the licensing on social media. I think Blaine had mentioned that they're going to, you know, follow Clipper's licensing.
Okay.
So that would entail releasing Clipper stuff.
Yeah.
And then once that happens, that's kind of like the wild, wild west as far as what can be done and what is going to be available for us to tinker with.
Okay.
But as of right now, there hasn't been anything really that
Okay.
there's just nothing that I have
Okay.
to say about that necessarily.
I gotcha. Okay, well, let's do, and he's not back yet, but it's 3 people who are here. Danny, what is your favorite thing about the machine so far?
It's price to performance
Okay.
by far. Again, $1,000 for a tool changer MSRP is like literally unheard of.
Yeah.
It's to build one DIY is $1,200 to $1,500 for like bare minimum. Cheap parts on AliExpress, like you're there at $1,200 to $1,500. So the fact that SnapMaker's at $1,000 or $800 right now on Kickstarter is I don't know how they do it, and that like that's the best thing.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah. All right, Vic, what you got?
Yeah, since price to performance was taken, I will focus in probably more so on the performance. Price is incredible. I've not built a Voron myself, and so if I want to, I'll need to save up for a couple of years. But the performance is incredible. I have a K2 Plus. That's like my workhorse for a lot of my multicolor, especially my large prints. And the fact that I can save hours on hours on hours of print time, especially for hobbyists and people that are specifically running their own markets, it's going to be revolutionary for those people, being able to produce more product, sell more things, save on filament and electricity. After a couple prints, you might not see the savings, but after thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of prints, it's definitely going to add up.
Okay.
And so if I had to look at the thing that I'm most excited about, it is the savings on print time, especially.
Okay. Bev, your favorite
I'm
thing
not-
besides glitter?
I'm not covered in printer poop. Like that's like
Okay.
that's been amazing, and like the time. So I never do multicolor printing because it slows my prints down, and I'm impatient. So that's
Okay.
why I'm just put glitter on. It's fine.
Yeah. Well,
But,
you have an H2D, correct? You have an H2D,
Yeah.
and you have this.
Yep.
What's the comparison between those two machines and their poop? Because the H2D is supposed to be very efficient, right?
Okay, so let me be really honest with you.
Please
okay?
do.
And I hope no printer companies get mad at me for what I'm about to say, because this is my honest opinion. I have like 20 different printers in this shop that I use, okay? My least favorite child is the H2D.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm on the CR30.
Okay. All right.
The CR30 has been disowned. My least favorite child is the H2D.
Okay.
I will be, and I don't pay full price for printers or for printers, period,
Yeah.
typically. So I do my judgment based on how much I would pay for
Right.
it if I had to. If I had paid full price for H2D, I would be mad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me
So
Common sentiment.
okay.
Common sentiment.
So
for
let's do this then. So looking at the U1, what is one thing right now that frustrates you about the U1 besides glitter?
The glitter will be fit when I get my new nozzles. This will not be a problem, and it's gonna be fine. Okay, I just need to fix my motors more.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna the feedback has been given. Okay, but it does take a minute to calibrate, which I have to plan efficiently to make sure my first layer goes down, because I like to watch my first layer.
Okay.
Gotta make sure that goes down. That takes a little bit longer. It's got so many more calibration points than any other printer I own. So it's understandable why it takes so long to calibrate, but I'm tired.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to go home to my cat, because my printers don't live at my house. They live in my shop.
Right.
So I'm like, I want to go home.
All right, Vic, what do you got? Oh.
Downside, but overall, the long, start time, and by long, it's every time I move this printer, it takes about 45 minutes to fully do all the vibration calibration
Gotcha.
when I move the printer.
Okay.
At the beginning of print, I'd say it's about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Right? I want to say it's about 15 minutes. It is longer than my 6 minutes on a bamboo, and my time it takes to heat the bed on a Neptune or something.
Right.
But considering I compared the same print, and it took 25 hours on my X1 Carbon. It was a 4-color dragon. It took 17 hours on my H2D, and then it took, I think, 7 hours and 45 minutes on this.
Okay.
So the extra 15 minutes, still shorter.
I gotcha. Well, Vic, what you got? What you think? The thing that frustrates you about it the most?
I don't think I've played around with it enough to have a clear frustration with the machine. I will say there are a couple things that I would be weary of or potentially have some concerns for. My audience is strictly beginners. We are opening up our first 3D printers for the first time. And, you think back to when you had your first nozzle clog, or the first time that a little piece of filament got stuck in your PTFE tube and you didn't know what to do. And so you start scouring the internet for resources to help you fix it. I would be concerned, maybe not concerned, I would be weary of, for people that are just getting into 3D printing, that have backed the Kickstarter, that are waiting for their unit, when they need to replace something in the tool head, or when they need to repair something, how easy is it going to be for them to get the repair parts, which I'm assuming SnapMaker will do a pretty good job of. But then how easy will it be to actually do the work yourself? Not every place in the world is blessed to have an Ecovate right next to them, and so you might not be able to bring your printer in to get fixed. And so I could see some repairability issues with complete beginners. I mean, even like maybe some just moderate 3D printers that have never used a tool head changing machine before. I'll be curious to see how that kind of plays out. But that's a future problem. I don't think I have any clear frustrations at the moment.
Okay, Danny.
My least favorite part about this printer so far, it definitely is calibration time, but the reason that it takes so long is because they haven't turned on adaptive bed mesh yet on the back end.
Okay.
It's currently, like what she said, it's meshing the entire bed every single time.
Okay.
If I print a small benchy, it should only probe in that area. That's how every boron works. That's how most clipper machines work.
Yeah.
But with this, it is hitting every single point every single time. And so that's why it takes so long. And in my experience, it's more like half an hour per print. And like, it's kind of an unbearable amount of time. But I think that can be fixed in the back end before release. And I think that they're working on it.
We must be talking about the how long it takes to calibrate.
That's the only thing that takes forever on this printer, so you know that.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of unbearable right now, but other than that, it's been pretty solid. I haven't had any other really. Well, hold on. When you feed filament to the tool, and it goes through the automatic feeder, it doesn't go all the way to the extruder gears, and I'm not sure what they're going to do on the back end of that.
Is there any printer that does? The Core 1 doesn't. The A1 doesn't. There's so many that just don't go all the way. I think the X1's probably the only one that really does it, right?
And and see, the problem with that is that, like, even on something like open source, like the Box Turtle, like, you have to calibrate that distance. Yeah. And it can change depending on the PTFE tube and what kind of filament you're using. So, like, I give them some slack. But that's like a really small nitpick item that it doesn't get all the way there, but you just push it in a little bit more and it's there. So,
Yeah.
But that is a small thing.
Well, Sandhill, we were doing two things. We were doing what's your favorite thing about it, and what's one thing that frustrates you about it? So what do you think?
Well, calibration taking so long. I think my first print we put in, I was about 10 minutes into it before it actually started printing.
Okay. Yeah.
So, for people that are going to be doing, a small print, 10 minutes is a long time. If I'm going to run it overnight, I don't really care about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But it was excessively long. Things I liked about it, I thought it looked slick. I think everybody's talking about how flimsy it is, the plastic, but that plastic's not structural. So why does it need to be like really heavy duty? Like, why do we need more plastic? I felt that it was really slick. I like the clear back panel that it had too.
Now, when you say plastic, what parts are you talking are plastic?
I'm talking about the casing on the actual machine. So everything else looked really nice machined metal.
Okay.
And by looking at their videos of how they put it together, so all the carriages are die cast and then machined.
Okay.
So, is it as good as billet? No, but it's a whole lot cheaper.
Oh. Okay.
And it's a lot faster to go ahead and cast the shape that you need and then machine your tolerances from there. It appears everything else is stamped out, pretty much like how a bamboo frame is made. Looks like they use progressive stamping dies to make the frame. The rest of it, it looks like they've got a lot of robotics in it. Okay. So as long as they keep all of that in tune and can keep their tolerances, I think they've got a good machine.
Okay, awesome. Well, guys, I'm up for this next one. I'm going to kind of preface. This is a Kickstarter. We always want to say, hey, if you're thinking about supporting a Kickstarter, there are always risks when you support a Kickstarter. All right. I think everybody in this room has probably been burned by a Kickstarter before, but let's talk about that. And Bev, Are you supporting the Kickstarter or not? I always go the wrong one. Are you supporting the Kickstarter or not?
I already have my printers. So.
I know. I know.
So I don't need more than I'm going to be receiving.
Okay.
So that's my only reason.
Okay. So
that I'm not a.
So if you had not, are you saying you would if you didn't have the printer already?
Exactly.
Okay.
The thing is, I just don't need that many of these.
Okay. I gotcha. Mr. Danny.
So the question is, am I supporting the Kickstarter?
Yes.
Am I backing it?
Yes. Are you backing it?
No.
Okay.
I do not support Kickstarter in general for
Okay.
large companies. I talked to Sandhill a while back about whether or not I was going to, and I told him I was really considering it, and I would put my own money on it, but I also want to make some content with them some more. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Well,
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
We'll see there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Mr. Vic.
Yeah, kind of to Danny's point. I think Uncle Jesse has a new video where he's talked about some of these bigger businesses hopping on Kickstarter, and just what I generally don't love the idea of large businesses that probably don't need to run Kickstarter campaigns hopping on there. I did place a deposit, the little $30 kickback, and all of the great communication that's gone along with that. And right now I do have it backed, but it is with the contingency that I still want to back it come the end of the month in September. So
Okay.
I am planning on getting it through Kickstarter. All the printers that I've ever purchased have all been my own money. I've never gotten a free printer or free anything. And so, I am trusting SnapMaker in a lot of ways through Kickstarter, but I wouldn't say it's a sealed deal yet.
Okay. Sandhill.
Excuse me. So I did back the Kickstarter. I cannot build a 4 tool head changing machine for $1,000. I can't do it. And if at the Kickstarter price of $749 with the $50 shipping, $800. I mean, I can't even add it to the Voron I already have for $800.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
I don't think SnapMaker is going to fail at this because they cannot afford to fail at this.
Yeah.
The market's too competitive right now with 3D printers.
And look, so I just now, when y'all said something about the new Bamboo coming out, I just looked up a while ago and looked it up, and I'm like, oh shit, Bamboo's going to have a tool change. Am I going to wait? No, because I want that technology now. I want to play with it now.
Yeah.
And for the price of it, I just felt that it was worth backing the Kickstarter for me. If I had not got to play with the machine that I did, I would not have done it because I am the same way. I don't like these big companies using Kickstarter for stuff that they should develop and put out themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do see how it is I can see running a business myself. It'd be nice to know that you got 10,000 orders set up before it even drops.
Yeah.
Because at least that way you're going, okay, should I buy this new $200,000 robot to do this one procedure that I need to do for this machine or not? Am I going to make 1,000 units or am I going to make 10,000 units? And so I can see where the companies like doing this because it gives them a little time to upscale to the point that they need to manufacture the actual product.
Right.
Right.
Right. Well,
And $10 million plus proves that they are filling a gap in the market that has just never been filled before.
yeah, I agree.
It does hold SnapMaker has the previous record for most funded 3D printer. So they have successfully done 2 printer Kickstarters before in the past, and it is the most funded 3D printer Kickstarter's ever seen. So I'll give them that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing in this case because, I'm a retailer, so I sell printers, and I have been through some messy launches usually stemming from not having enough of the product.
Yeah.
So I think them having a good idea, like, do I think that big companies should be on Kickstarter? It depends. But, you know, if it's easier to track than a pre-order page or whatever, you know, I love the idea of pre-order. And, you know, at some point it's just marketing. So I feel good about SnapMaker delivering on
Yeah.
Kickstarter because
Yeah.
they do have a track record of it. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this will be one of the smoother launches because I've been through some messy launches from many big companies.
Danny, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, so to add to it, I think that most of the market is, consumers like us that don't have an insane amount of money when it comes to this hobby. And when you keep those people in mind, I would say that, I posted on Twitter today that most of the market has not spent more than $1,000 on any 3D printer, that's in this hobby. And the fact that they were able to get a tool changer at 800 for the Kickstarter or 1,000 MSRP is kind of just like insane. And I don't think anybody's going to beat them in the market at this point in time.
Yeah.
And I've been saying before I knew about the U1 that whoever can deliver on price, waste, and reliability first wins this part of, this era of 3D printing, because, we look back to when Bamboo came out and they took the Core XY era. Before that, bed slingers, you had Prusa, who was taking over that era, and now we have SnapMaker introducing this new technology at a very good price.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah. But I try to, when the Bamboo that came out today and the Prusa Core 1 with all the new tools on it and the Creality K2 Pro, is like they're all over $1,000, and like the majority of the market is not gonna be able to afford it, let alone that is a huge investment for most people that are just hobbyists. And so I don't think that, I think that the SnapMaker does fill that need that people want.
Yeah, I think so.
That makes sense.
I was just part of the big Eufy Make Kickstarter. It's one of like 3 Kickstarters that I've supported. And it was a really interesting one. SnapMaker seems to be running it very, very similar to what Eufy Make did. We had a couple of questions as far as like, on the Kickstarter, is shipping being charged for the printer? Or is that part of what's being paid?
So when I backed it, it said that the price of the printer was $749 and that there was going to be $50 shipping to me in the U.S.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I did see on the SnapMaker official whatever, they said there was not going to be. They said they were shipping from the U.S. There would not be additional tariffs or taxes.
Okay.
On top of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yet to be seen what they actually do.
Okay.
But that is what was told on the SnapMaker Facebook group by the official SnapMaker poster there.
Okay.
Sherry, yeah.
And then I'd also watch out a little bit. One of the things that has been happening with Kickstarters, and it happened in the Eufy Make one, they actually charged sales tax after the fact. They came back, sent out an email and said, hey, this is 2 weeks after we've paid the main fee. And they said, hey, we're going to charge tax on top of this. Right.
I worry about that because I didn't see a tax
on their Kickstarter page. It does say includes taxes and duties for EU, US, AU, UK, CA, KR, JP. So I mean, there's a lot.
Crazy.
Check the Kickstarter page and make sure wherever you're at that's covered. But it says excludes shipping and includes taxes.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay. And that's, and so that was really interesting for that one. Now, what they did, and I think SnapMaker, like I said, they seem to be doing a lot of the similar things. Eufy Make actually loaded all of the American printers on a ship and sent them to LA. And that was like, they said, we're going to ship by this date. And so the ship by date was when it left them and it's landed in LA. Now there's starting to notify us and say, okay, we're shipping from LA to you. We're saying that. So I think that's how they're getting around some of the other stuff. So that's some things to look out and be aware of that are happening in Kickstarters right now. I'm kind of like y'all when it comes to corporations and stuff. They're starting to kind of take over Kickstarter a little bit, and it's a little scary, but you know,
It's just not what it's for.
yeah,
No, it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
Etsy with drop shippers now.
Yeah.
Like it's turned into a corporate entity that
Yeah.
wants to make money, and that's how they're making money. So
Yeah.
I get it, but
So last thing, we are across 3D. I did not get a notification on my Eufy, not yet. I know some people who did.
Man, I want one of those so bad. That thing
Me
looks
too.
so cool.
If I get it before 3D Printopia, I'm bringing it.
For sure.
Because I definitely want to use it because I've got some things planned that I want to do. But who's going to 3D Printopia? Raise your hand. Awesome.
I know, I
Aw.
should.
Vic,
Vic,
what's
Vic.
wrong?
I've
You're not
been
even that far.
invited.
You're not even that far.
I'll
Vic,
talk
you
to
take
Beverly
carpool with
about
that.
it. I know.
Awesome.
I mean, you can ride with a number of people.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen. We'll
Yeah.
make it happen.
There's lots of us
We have
close.
We peer pressured him.
I know,
That's
right?
right. That's right. It only takes 4 voices.
So
I already booked the Ecovate team house. We have bunk beds.
there you go.
Yeah, it's bunk beds.
There you go.
We
So-
have them at the Hugh Forge house too. I'm not getting on a bunk bed at 6'7". I tell you that much
Oh
right
no,
now.
I know,
don't
right?
know. I've got the,
Oh my gosh.
we got 2
Yeah.
real bedrooms, and we have the bunk bed room.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've got
I'm
my
not in
own
the
place.
bedroom.
Thanks.
Well, and that
I got my own place for 3D.
the whole Hugh Forge team, they're all over 6'5", I think.
Give or take.
Right?
Yeah, give or take.
But so y'all have alluded, a lot of people have alluded to it. This is something I said back when Bamboo was coming out, about a year and a half ago. We looked and said, if printers are not moving into multicolor, they either need to push more to the prosumer, more to the manufacturing side with one color machines, or they're not going to survive. Now, do y'all feel we're moving into that same idea with multi-tool heads at this point? Any opinions on that?
I don't think you can get it cheap enough. I don't know. I'm gonna be interested if we see a race to the bottom on tool changers if we're not already at the bottom end. Like what Creality's about to bring to the table and what Elegoo's about to bring to the table.
Right.
Because I mean, you look at this Centauri Carbon, like Sandhill's saying, that thing's impressive to me, and like I don't have one, but I honestly want one now. After hearing him and hear everybody else that I've heard talk about it, but I just don't see how you can race to the bottom on a tool changer. Like you still need an extruder. Well, depending if you're like a index, you don't need the extra extruder, but you still need
Right.
the hot end. You still need the your intelligent components. I don't know what we're about to see as
Well-
far as that goes.
And the thing with the A1s, when the A1 series came into the market, it was like an undercut. I mean, they went, hey, look at this Prusa Mini. Look at the A1 Mini. We're going to undercut it with color for $250, right? And the A1
Right.
was like $600. And so, yeah, the race to the bottom, I could see happening pretty quick with people trying to do that. And I mean, with this, we're already doing it. We're undercutting the XL, which we didn't feel was a consumer hobbyist machine anyway, right? But that's just kind of my wonder. What is multi-tool head? We've got so many coming out. What are y'all seeing it look like in the future with Prusa saying, hey, we're going to add other tools to our tool head. We've got multi-material. We've got high temp chambers. We're hitting 300 plus degrees on our nozzles on a regular basis now. What are y'all seeing the future of this to be?
Yeah, I'll be curious. I'll be real curious to see. I don't know. I think 4, 5, 6 years ago, it was a race to the bottom for everything, like competitive market, cheaper products. Like that was a good thing for consumers. I don't know, and there's a lot of philosophy behind this. I want to think about it more. I don't know if it's a race to the bottom anymore. I think with the amount of machines that we've seen release between $1,000 and $2,000, and the rise of things like Affirm, Klarna, and like trying to make it seem like these printers are more accessible than what they actually are, I don't know if companies are interested as much in making the $200 to $300 printer for the everyday person, especially when you get into tool changing 3D printers, because I mean we might be at the bottom. Like $800, soon to be $1,000 once it's off Kickstarter, is probably as cheap as you're going to be able to get this technology to go. And we've been proven wrong in that area before, but I would just be curious to think through it from like a business mindset of, are companies racing to the bottom anymore? Because even with the little teaser that we saw with this H2C nozzle switching thing that Bamboo Lab dropped, like we know that's going to be more expensive than the H2S. So it's going to be a $2,000 plus printer, and Bamboo Lab is okay with that. Like they're totally content with charging that amount of money for that printer. Yeah. And I would anticipate other companies potentially following. You're always going to have those budget machines, but I don't know if that's where the broad sweeping market is going to go. Right. I'll be curious. Well, I mean, it's hard to predict it.
Even looking at the Centauri Carbon, right? We never, I mean, something that looks like an X1C for $300. Yeah. And it's a good machine.
Right.
Now,
have y'all seen the 85X from BlastForge? I got one of those. I got a beta unit of the 85X. And let me tell you, it's got a smaller build space than a Bamboo. It's a Core XY, but it has a multi-tool head. So it's multicolor switcher. It's still, it still purges, but it prints TPU better than any of my Bamboos for multicolor, for a single nozzle multicolor. And I was shocked. I did not expect to like that printer. And it's so compact, and it's $400. Which is absolutely wild, because it is cheaper than an A1 combo. It's smaller than an A1 combo, but it can print TPU because of the way the motors are. Like, it's got a better design than the AMS Lite, because I'll be completely honest, I don't like my AMS Lite.
Yeah.
I love my AMS. Not a fan of the Lite.
I gotcha. Anybody else want to add to that? Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new index system coming out, because that tool changing system seems very promising to me, and it looks like, I mean, they have said it's going to be like $250, and then $35 per color that you want to change
for tool head. So
if they go that route, if the big companies go that route and take that technology, then I do see tool changers getting down to $500.
Well, and that one's a little bit different because it takes more of an approach of one extruder and multiple nozzles, right? And Danny, have you spent any time with the Index? Do you know anything about it?
So I signed up for the beta, and I was talking to the main guy, Olaf, for a couple messages on Facebook, but he's left me on red. I was asking him if he had picked out beta users yet, because what I was planning on doing was, I have a Micron kit behind me. That's what all these boxes are, and that was going to be saved for the Index if I got into the beta. No response. We're full steam ahead on a stealth changer here, but they said that the target is 250 and 30, but in the Facebook groups they've been saying it might be a little more. But other than that, there hasn't been any more information. I would love for that to be successful, but there's just a lot of up in the air things right now. I am skeptical on that system right now until content creators get a hold of them. That's really what I'm waiting on, is once somebody starts doing videos on them more frequently, or they start producing more information more frequently, that's when I'll buy into the Index. But I'm also interested in the Atom form, the Palette 300 with the nozzle swapper. That's a very interesting design. They have a pretty good CGI on their website of like how that's going to work. It's very peculiar. I don't know how much that's going to cost. That's what I want to know. Like, is a nozzle swapper going to be cheaper and or more or less reliable? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's going to be more reliable than a tool changer or not.
What instability are you introducing? What kind of, there's so many little...
It picks up, it pushes out, and then it flips up and goes into, like, it's just weird. It's a very weird design and a lot of complex mechanisms there, and I don't know if it's going to be, we'll we'll see. There's a lot of stuff.
So are we
I feel
gonna?
like
Oh, go ahead.
development for so long. I feel like some of these have been in like. Do we know when the index is coming out? Is that announced? Does anyone know?
Not yet.
They're basically supposed to
Because
start
I
in
feel like
July,
I've been talking to them for a really long. Like I feel like I've known Olaf for like a really long time, and I've been talking about this for like a stupid amount of time. And I'm just like, what do you? And I was like, oh, it's not out yet. Every time I think about it, I'm like, where is it? You know, it comes down to, and there's a bunch of other technologies that I've like seen prototypes of. I've had people tell me about the concepts and someone explained the engineering to me. But how many of those have I actually like had in my hands besides this one?
Right.
This is the one that made it into my hands at a level that I would actually like. I would pay for this printer if I had to pay for this printer.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I've had other technologies that have been handed to me for usually for free, but I'm like,
Scanner.
okay.
Yeah, I know. She keeps saying, for free. I got this for free. For free. I know.
I got it for free.
I'm messing with you.
I would pay for it.
I'm messing with you. So, is Yumi the last color change bed slinger we see?
Probably.
The bed slinger?
You think? I mean,
Yeah, Yumi's a bed slinger.
it
Do
got-
you not know anything about Yumi?
it got supported on Kickstarter. It's been funded.
That's it, 350, I think.
Yeah.
I don't have anything nice to say.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. No, I understand. I just wonder, because we thought we had kind of seen the end of bed slingers with the A1 series, right?
Yeah.
Do those?
I think.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're
I don't
fine.
mean to cut you off.
Go.
I was gonna say I don't think that there's. What we're gonna see is, do you remember when the X1C came out, and then like printers were still coming out that weren't as good as the X1C?
Mhm.
We're seeing that. We'll see the tail end of people's development cycles continue to get pushed. We're gonna see another Centauri Carbon. We're gonna see another 85. Like we're gonna see these printers keep coming, and they're like, well, these aren't even comparable to what these other brands are pushing right now. But that's normal. In the next 6 months, we're gonna start seeing, the next era of everybody and their mom trying to release a tool changer or a nozzle swapper or that's when the next era starts. And so, we're talking mid 26. I would say we start seeing a lot more information on new and exciting technologies. But as far as bed slingers, doesn't Anycubic still sell a bed slinger?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that I think they're working on the next Cobra series.
Yeah.
I think I saw the next layer do a video tour, and he was saying that they have like the Cobra 2. So I'm sure that they have like a bed slinger coming. But yeah, I think that we're done with bed slingers. I think that they're gone.
They're going to become so affordable.
That's
$100 bucks. I mean, they're already $100 bucks.
For them to have any relevancy in the market, they're just going to have to be really cheap, which is a good thing for people trying to get into 3D printing.
Sure.
But I've even looked at the Yumi. I know nothing about this other than you just said it, and I looked it up. And
Fastest in the galaxy.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what it says right there.
Yeah. That's exactly what it says.
So the only place that I see bed slingers having in people's arsenal in the future, as technology continues to improve, is that they are still a solid budget option that produces good results.
And that's what I was going to say, because I think Europe and U.S. bed slingers go away. Or they're that low budget. We're going to stick them in a school. We're going to stick them in a classroom. We're going to give people some experiences with them. But then when you look at you've got India, a very entrepreneurial place where bed slingers, especially the Anycubic bed slingers, are so popular. You've got the Philippines. They're really starting to come up. You're starting to see 3D prints and the small markets and farmers markets and different things over there. I think bed slingers become very popular there. I think there's so many different places that those bed slingers will be, but I think development and showing up in the U.S. will go very slow. I would say, so we talked race to the bottom. I think we're going to see a split. I think we're going to see a race to the bottom, and we're going to see a race to quality and multiple uses for toolhead. I think we're going to see that bifurcation happen, and the low end is going to be just multi-material, multi-tool heads, and the top is going to be inserters and just different things to help with the manufacturing process on the prosumer side. I think the H2D was kind of our first insight into that, as well as I feel like the XL came way too early, right? And now they're feeling comfortable enough to start announcing what they want to do with it. And that's kind of where I see. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, yeah, the XL, I feel the XL is kind of rushed. Bed slingers are gone. I don't see bed slingers coming back. I don't have room for a big bed slinger, okay? And everybody wants bigger printers.
Yes.
Everybody wants a bigger printer. I want a bigger printer. But I'm not going to buy a bed slinger because the problems you have with it. By the time you get to the really tall heights and that bed's moving back and forth, you're going to have all kinds of problems.
Can you imagine
Oh my!
I know.
God.
Can you imagine an Orange Storm Giga as a bed slinger?
Oh no!
Oh my gosh!
4 build plates.
No, thank you.
You know, but I mean, I guess that's really all I got to say about that.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think that bifurcate. I think that's a good point. I think we'll see the prosumer continue to get more expensive as technology like really moves ahead, and I think we may see kind of the hobbyist personal use 3D printers, whether they're bed slingers or older Core XY machines, become as cheap as possible. And that might be, I mean, the Centauri Carbon's probably a good example of that. Prosumer space is definitely going to continue to climb. I think Prusa XL and whatever Bamboo Lab has planned is just going to continue to kind of take that prosumer machine.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if in 10 years we have $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 prosumer machines, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in that new machine I've seen pop up that's got the continuous carbon in it, because I do a lot of car parts and stuff, and that's if I can make more functional parts that were strong enough, then that just opens up everything. But $2,500, I have a hard time shelling that out, especially for technology that we don't know is good yet. I really wanted one of those Magneto X's because they look so cool.
Yeah.
But apparently, if you try to print ABS on them, they get too hot and the magnets come out of them, and so hard to be an early adopter when you're broke. But I ain't going back to bed slingers.
I get it. 100%.
Well, look, if Elegoo could come out with a Security Carbon that was 350 by 350, they would sell so many units of that.
They would.
Because more than anything that people want besides multicolor is bigger build area.
Yeah. I think the problem with that is quality of motors. I mean, let's be honest. You look at the inside of a Centauri Carbon and you go, I give it 6 months. It's like, But I think when you start looking, you want the consistency in the motors. You want more steps in the motors. There's so many things when it comes to 350 by 350 that need to be there. It's tough.
Well, and you look at the Phoenix project, Sandhill, you probably know this, the Boron Phoenix, which is like the giant. Yeah, I mean, they've had nothing but issues for 2.5 years because of how big it is and what can happen with heat. And so I agree that 350 is like where everybody wants it now, but at the same time, you introduce so many problems when you get up there. Even with my Boron right now, the 2.4, if you get, once you get over a certain height, you still start to see artifacts at the top end, and you need like, what are they, frame to make your frame more rigid. They have like parts you can buy. Yeah. So, and that's a common problem. You're absolutely right, Asylum, in thinking that, you got to have better quality parts. So then what does that race to the bottom look like?
Yeah.
What is the cheapest 350 cube? Because that would be cool, though. If we could get a really cheap 350 cube that holds up, I'm down.
And how much money does LDO make?
Right.
It's called the SVO8, and it is terrible. I had one for 2 days. On the second print, it self-destructed itself, and luckily I had bought it from Amazon, so I was able to send it back.
That's
I got one right in the corner, and I'm selling it on Wednesday.
Yeah, that was not a good experience.
I mean, it's not a bad printer, but I'm getting rid of it.
I hear it's a decent platform if you upgrade everything else around it.
Yes, yes.
The frame's good. That's
frame's
just-
awesome.
Costs way more money than
The
it's
frame's
worth.
great.
Well,
That's
it'll be
awesome.
interesting to see. They've come out with the SVO8 Max now.
All that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy one. I mean, if they want to send me one, let me try it. I'd do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna spend my money on it. Not after the experience with the SVO8.
Yeah.
Not unless people jump out there and say, yeah, it's good. You know,
Yeah.
if a bunch of creators jump out there and say, oh yeah, this thing's the best thing since sliced bread, maybe I'll try one. But
Yeah.
no time soon.
So, and I've held y'all a lot longer than I expected, guys. Thank y'all so much for hanging in and talking about this. So we're going to do last thoughts in just a minute. I do want to answer a question. This is kind of a random question somebody in the room asked. I think it would be interesting to talk about. We got Parker 95608. Do you think there's any market for home printers using larger diameter filament? Now we have Noah Crane. Larger diameter has issues from the core not fully melting. I would agree with that. I would also agree with speeds. What were you saying, Bev?
Noah Crane works for me.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go.
He's
So,
the one that has to fix this whenever I break it.
so what are your thoughts on larger? Because we used to have larger diameter filaments, right? Now we've all just moved pretty much to 1.75. Any thoughts on that, guys?
I think the correct answer will actually be pellet printing. Hot take, by the way. Like,
Okay.
hot
okay.
take, it's gonna be pellet.
Pellets?
Yeah, pellets.
Okay.
I
Pellets,
mean,
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, there you go. And we've seen them, right? I mean, I think the first pellet printer I saw was at Murph, as far as people doing their garage business, right? And that's a great one if you ever want to see people playing with stuff and trying to do crazy things with machines. Murph is a great place to go. Bondtech style. We've got somebody saying that Bondtech style nozzles can solve that. You know, it's possible that Bondtech style could solve it. The problem is the speeds. I think when you come into the speeds that we're at right now, I don't print fast. Most of my prints are still around 80 to 100, right? But so many other people are trying to get up to 300, the 500. They're really trying to push the limits on it. Melting that much plastic that quickly is pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, we're always going to see industrial innovation, right? Like
Right.
that's always going to happen because companies and prosumers that run companies want to save money in the long term, right? So we're always going to see innovation there. For the question, like, will we ever see it home 3D printing? That's just such a hard question because for 3D printing to continue to be as accessible as it is, it has to become easier to use.
Yeah.
And when you introduce completely new things to the home market use, it becomes harder to do that, to convince people to adopt this new technology, to convince people that they ought to spend their money when there's already so much proven good out there.
Right.
We'll see, but I think we will see plenty of innovation in the industrial. I mean, if you can spend $15,000 on a printer, you can, $100,000 on a printer, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for home use, I'll be curious to see.
Well, and I think all of this is. Go ahead, Bev. Sorry. Go ahead, Bev.
Keep an eye out for what E3D does this fall.
Okay. I think ultimately all of this is a waste of time anyway because resin's going to take over. I mean,
Whoa.
Agreed.
this is my prediction. I was reading an article the other day. They have figured out how to change the flexibility of resin material based on the frequency of the light they throw at it.
Now,
So
that's awesome.
they're one step closer to changing the color based on the frequency of light that they throw at it. So I think resin's going to take over ultimately.
And those
anyway.
printers are cheap. Those printers are cheap. You can get a Mars 2 for like $100.
I just need a 350 by 350 one, right?
right.
Yeah, a giant kitty-sized pool of resin.
That's right. Jump in
That
and play.
sounds fun.
I know,
A
right?
coffee table picking up and going down. That's great. Yeah.
Mom, Tommy fell over in the pool of resin.
Yeah.
So,
Bad.
I
You
know.
get superpowers from that.
All right. So, last takes. Let's go back to the U1. Last takes on the U1. We're going to jump over to Sandhill.
I think it's a good machine for what I've seen so far. I hope that they're able to deliver the Kickstarter on time and that everybody's able to get their machines without too much fuss. and I'm really looking forward to just playing with it. And I mean, I'm going to go up Thursday and play with Beverly's again because it's just, I mean, the speed the toolhead changes is just really unbelievable. I mean, it really is unbelievable how fast it can change. That's my take on it.
Yeah. Okay. Bev?
This is my second favorite printer
Okay.
that I own.
Okay.
So easy second place.
Okay. Awesome. Vic?
Yeah, it's just always so exciting to see innovation and technology at such an affordable price. Like that to me is enough for me to be excited for the machine. So I'm looking forward to getting mine, whether it's through Kickstarter or after that. You just don't often see such innovation for the hobbyists at such a good price. So that always gets me excited. Yeah, I'm stoked for it.
Okay. Hey, Bev, what's your favorite printer, real quick? Somebody asked.
My
Oh, you don't?
A1 Mini.
Okay.
A1 Mini. And she winks at me.
Awesome.
And I love her. This is Sabrina. I love her.
Danny, last thoughts.
It's also my second favorite printer ever that I've printed with. And the other thing that I have to say about it is, if you haven't backed the Kickstarter and want to back the Kickstarter, I think everybody here, except for maybe Asylum, has a affiliate link. And it doesn't matter who you use, but you should use a creator that you like.
Yep.
Use their Kickstarter link, because
Yes.
kickbacks are nice for us. So
Yes.
link in my bio.
Yes.
So, but yeah.
Soapbox. If you ever get mad because a creator that you follow and love and enjoy their content, if you ever get mad because they give you an affiliate link, stop it! Come on! Support your creators, guys.
Come on.
Support your creators. If you're my friend and you have an affiliate link to something I want to buy, you better send it or you're not my friend anymore, okay? All right? I want to support my friends. I don't ask my family for discounts to their businesses because I want to support my family who has businesses, right? Support the creators you love. Otherwise, they can't be here anymore, because it's that support that helps them stay. And that's why I do this, right? That's why I do this with Asylum Live. I introduce you to creators. I let you know the guys that are out there. I try to introduce you to the most reputable people that I can, so that you know the people who have, whether they're far into the future of the industry or they just know what's going on right now. They are reputable and smart people who want to do the best and help the community out. Right, guys? Right?
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So, guys, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I won't preach anymore. But if you want to see more of this, please do the likes and follows. Follow these guys. Sandhill, where can they find you?
On TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Sandhills 3D.
All right.
Yeah, all.
Bev.
YouTube.
Oh.
YouTube, that's where my link is. YouTube is where the link is for my affiliate link.
Okay, Bev.
Mostly on TikTok, but I'm also on Instagram and I guess on Facebook. Ecovate 3D, my shop, if you're local to North Carolina, has our own Discord as well. All of that will be, my link tree is just Ecovate 3D. So if you know how to use link tree, you know where the little dot goes.
Danny or Daniel?
Linktree / Neocoy Prints. I have every social media. Just go check them out there.
All right. And Vic, the person, I don't know why I've never met Vic before. Like,
Well, I'm glad we got to do it today.
me too. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna get to know each
Let's
other.
do it. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm on everything. 3D Prints by Vic, YouTube, Instagram. The only thing I'm not on is TikTok. I got rid of TikTok. Maybe one day I'll come back for no reason. I was just spending too much time on there.
I don't blame you.
But
I
now
don't-
YouTube has just replaced it, so maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't worth it.
Awesome. Well, guys, get over there and follow them. Be a part of what's going on their channels. Thank you so much for supporting us tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Share this out. Let people know more about this. If you want to be a part of the community, jump over to the Discord. The links are in the bio. You can find all of the information about the Asylum Life community there. And then you'll find find out what Discords these guys are in, because every one of them are in Discord. So thank y'all so much for being here tonight. Guys, I'm going to shove y'all off to the green room, and I will come back in just a second. But guys, thank you so much. Remember, we always talk about growing community over here. One of the things that we want to do is we want to grow in knowledge. You always hear me talk about live, grow, show. And so grow in knowledge. That is what these guys do, right? They're growing in knowledge, and then the show, they're showing what they know to you. They're sharing that out. And that's what this is all about. So remember, like I always say, live life to the fullest, grow in wisdom, and show what you have learned generously. See y'all next Thursday. You'll find out more. Watch my channel. Got something cool happening Thursday.